Okay. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day. I have some phone calls to make today. So I'm not fortunate enough to have my mother nearby, so she's 6 hours away. All right, so I'm going to go broad and then come back down and then go back broad again. So you'll follow with me today with that. Because this archetype, this idea, this energy that is the mother is very big, much bigger than all of us. So I'm going to first just start with an opening. I'm going to do a couple things today from Mirabai Starr's book, Mother of God, Similar to Fire. If you haven't been exposed to this book yet and you have an affinity for the divine feminine, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful collection of iconography by artists that Mirabai knows, and then writings, basically prayers that Mirabai has composed to match each icon. So it's pretty stunning. So we're starting today with Mother of God. You are the safe haven, the secret room where the lovers of the divine gather to remember him. The oasis where the seekers find each other in the heart of the desert and exchange stories of longing and discovery. The fire of the Holy Spirit comes pouring into the open chamber of your mother heart. In your midst, all are welcome. Through your voice, everything is understood, Blessed Mother. May all faiths find sanctuary in you. May all paths flow like mountain streams into the river valley of your love. And praise the Holy One with 1,000 voices. So that takes us into the universal power of the mother energy, Mother Archetype. And those of you who've heard me talk before on archetypes know the general idea about archetypes, but I will give you a little brush up and introduce those who are unfamiliar. This idea of what is an archetype. To say something is archetypal means to basically say that it's universal. And it can be any number of things in archetype, but today we're talking about a human archetype. And these human archetypes are patterns of human nature, human behavior. The Greek origin of the word archetype comes from the root arche, which means beginning or original, and typos, meaning pattern, model, or type. So thus, it follows that an archetype is the original or first pattern from which all others are made of. Archetypes are the templates of our being. And it just so happens that some titles for family members are also archetypes. So today, we're talking about the mother, but also the father is an archetype, and child is an archetype. Let's look more then at this idea of the mother archetype. With all archetypes, they are neutral, really, and it is us who colors them. It's us who says that they are good or bad, and ultimately, it's based on our preferences. Each archetype has a light and a shadow side. And really beyond that, beyond those two sides, they're multivalent. They have many expressions. But we'll talk about that more later. Each archetype has a creative and destructive impulse, a noble and ignoble tendencies, and can be viewed both positively and negatively. So thinking of all of those opposites, those paradoxes, in terms of the mother. The mother can be seen as the good mother or the bad mother. I'm going to read a story to you. Oh, not yet a story. Let me see. A little passage to you from Joseph Campbell about the mother. For she is the world creatrix, ever mother, ever virgin. She encompasses the encompassing, nourishes the nourishing, and is the life of everything that lives. So that's the light aspect of the mother. She is also the death of everything that dies, The whole round of existence is accomplished within her sway, from birth through adolescence, maturity, and senescence to the grave. She is the womb and the tomb, the sow that eats her farrow. Thus she unites the good and the bad, exhibiting the two modes of the remembered mother, not only as personal, but as universal. The devotee, as in the spiritual devotee, is expected to contemplate the two sides of the mother with equal equanimity. Through this exercise, his spirit is purged of his infantile, inappropriate sentimentalities and resentments, and his mind is open to the inscrutable presence which exists not primarily as good or bad with respect to his childlike human convenience, his weal and woe, but as the law and image of, as the nature of being. So that's Joseph Campbell language for that when we start to come into a balanced understanding of our personal experience of the mother, that we grow up, we mature. And it's that over-idealized vision of our mother or ourselves as a mother, or that demonized side that sometimes has us, some people more than others, has us in a position of not liking that idea of the mother. It's coming into realizing that both those conflicting sides are part and parcel of the mother archetype. So in this respect, it then flows out into our entire lives as the spiritual devotee that Joseph Campbell talks about. When we come into this balanced understanding of the mother universally, we stop expecting everything in our lives to be good and bad or black and white. We're able to sit with paradox, and paradox is where God rests. And that is the essential nature of the sacred, as well as the path out of illusion. Thomas More, in his book Care of the Soul, says, all mothering, whether in a family or within an individual, is made up of both affectionate caring and bitter emotional pain. Christianity gives us the great image of the Virgin Mary, who is both the comforting Madonna and the Mater Dolorosa, the sorrowful mother. Okay, so going back out into the cosmic now, the cosmic idea of the mother. The universal mother makes her appearance to men under a multitude of guises. And this is Joseph Campbell. For the effects of creation are multitudinous, complex, and mutually contradictory. They are of the kind when experienced from the created world. The mother of life is at the same time the mother of death. So we see this theme over and over again when we look at mythology surrounding goddesses, especially those that are mothers. We have, among different goddesses, I'll just name a few that are particularly known for their mothering qualities. We have the Greek goddess Demeter, who is the goddess that brings food, brings spring, brings summer, brings the harvest. We have Mother Mary, of course. We have Gaia, Mother Earth. We have Kali from the Hindu tradition, and Durga also. Those are just a very few examples. We could spend all day listing them. All right, and so here's another story for you that gives an idea of our relationship to the mother archetype from a universal perspective. In the west of Ireland, they still tell the tale of the Prince of the Lonesome Isle and the Lady of Tuber Tinty. Hoping to heal the Queen of Erin, the heroic youth had undertaken to go for 3 bottles of water of Tuber Tinty, the flaming fairy well. Following the advice of a supernatural aunt, whom he encountered on the way, and riding a wonderful, dirty, little shaggy horse that she gave to him, he crossed the river of fire and escaped the touch of a grove of poison trees. The horse, with the speed of the wind, shot past the end of the castle of Tuber Tinty. The prince sprang from the horse's back through an open window and came down inside the castle, safe and sound. The whole place, enormous in extent, was filled with sleeping giants and monsters of sea and land, great whales, long slippery eels, bears, and beasts of every form and kind. The prince passed through them and over them till he came to a great stairway. At the head of the stairway he went into a chamber where he found the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. "I'll have nothing to say to you," he said, and went on to the next. And so he looked into 12 chambers, and each was a woman more beautiful than the one before. But when he reached the 13th chamber and opened the door, a flash of gold took the sight from his eyes. He stood a while till the sight came back, and then he entered. In the great bright chamber was a golden couch resting on wheels of gold. The wheels turned continually. The couch ran around and round day by day. On the couch lay the queen of Tuber-Tinti, and if her 12 maidens were beautiful, they would not be beautiful if seen near her. At the foot of the couch was the Tuber-Tinti well itself, the well of fire. There was a golden cover upon the well, and it went around continually with the couch of the queen. "Upon my word," said the prince, "I'll rest here a while." And he went up on the couch and never left it for 6 days and 6 nights. The Lady of the House of Sleep is a familiar figure, as we know, in fairy tale and myths. She is the paragon of all paragons of beauty, the reply to all desire, the bliss-bestowing goal of every hero's earthly and unearthly quest. She is mother, sister, mistress, and bride. And so in her, we see that promise of perfection, the soul's assurance that at the conclusion of the exile of this world and its organized inadequacies, the bliss that was once known will be known again. So this is the idealized, the good mother, young and beautiful, and who is known to us and even tasted, if even in the remotest past. But time has sealed her away. And then within her becomes the image of the bad mother, and that's what Campbell is talking about here. The absent, unattainable mother, the hampering, forbidding, punishing mother, the mother who would hold herself, the growing child trying to push her away, and the desired but forbidden mother. So here we see all of the faces within this one desire for the ideal or good mother, all the other faces that come through there. And that is all at the cosmic level. Looking still at the many expressions of the mother, we know that there's a lot of traditional names for the mother archetype that we use. The career or the working mom, Mr. Mom, the homemaker, the virgin mother, the birth mom, the adopted mom, the mother figure, the good mother, the devouring mother, the neglectful and the abusive mother, of course, Mother Nature, and then also Mother Bear. So all of these are very familiar. And there's been some wonderful modern adaptations. Among those, the helicopter mom. Most people know those. We have the soccer mom. Also, we know those. Some other fun ones that I've found, the free range mom, the one that lets their kids go roaming and wandering about. There's the tiger mom. She's super ambitious and wants her child to have the best of the best and do the best of the best. The PTA mom. Another silly one, the hot mess mom. That's the one that shows up with wearing her shirt backwards, with stains on it and her hair standing on end, and she forgot her kid in the car. We have the perfectionist mom, the hipster mom, the one that's cool and everybody's best friend, and the stage mom. So all of these expressions, not just the good and the bad, we have everything in between. That pressure to protect and safeguard the child while having them become productive members of society is pretty intense. And there's a lot of different manifestations or strategies that someone in the mother archetype, be it male or female, be it a birth mom or a mother figure, experience. And there's the strategy of hovering, which that's the helicopter mom, right? The one that cannot leave the child alone for fear that something might go wrong. We know the downside of this pattern, but the upside is that the children often grow up to be secure and confident because they're able to rely and trust others. That's actually a wonderful skill to have. There's also the strategy of the parent who has the mother who has the child living the life they never got to live, the transference pattern, and that projects her hopes and dreams onto her child. Of course, we know this can be very abusive because it can cause the mother to attack their child for not being enough and not meeting the expectations that she ultimately wished she could have fulfilled. And on the other side, this strategy can manifest in the child that excels because she has someone that never stops believing in him or her. And then roam. This is the free roaming strategy, where you let the children roam free. You leave them at home alone at 9, 10, or earlier ages, and let them just have at it. They're gone. The child's gone all day, somewhere in the woods. They'll get back for dinner when they get hungry. So this strategy, of course, can spiral into the neglectful or abandoning mother that isn't there for the child when they need them. And it also can result in the child who grows into an independent and responsible and highly functioning adult. And then the last of the mother archetype strategies, at least the main ones, is the mother who looks to be the best friend. And she takes all those pressures of worry about the child and channels them into being the best friend and creating an intense bond, because then she won't miss anything. She'll be there for whatever the child needs. And there can be a child in this case who resents the neediness of the parent, of the mother. And also the child can end up being very outgoing and loving as an adult. So we see that there's not, even though there's these very different strategies within the mother, very personal and different strategies within the mother archetype, that there's really no way to judge one as good or bad or black or white. So I encourage you to, when thinking today about your mother or yourself as a mother or those you know that are playing this role as the mother archetype, to think about how and where you are mothering. Because it's not just about children. It's not just about human children. Many people mother their animals. Many people mother their projects or their careers. And so the mother archetype, that creative force that we all have within us, we all are encountering and channeling, embodying the mother archetype at different times. So being mindful of that and having reverence for that aspect of your life today. Mothering is, Thomas More says, mothering is not a simple matter of taking care of the immediate needs of another. It is a recognition that each individual has a special character and fate that must be safeguarded even at the risk of losing ordinary assurances of safety and normalcy. Burning the child in the fire of fate and experience goes against the natural desire for perfection. And I would say that this plays into the projects that we have, that we are working on, be they art projects, be they writings, be anything, buildings, whatever we're putting out there in the world. We have a tendency sometimes to want to hold back putting out our expression of creativity out into the world. And there is a difference, Thomas More says, between human mothering and divine mothers. The divine mothers have a broader perspective, and that is a deep form of the maternal impulse, so that willingness to let go when the time is right, of whatever it is that we've been fostering and nurturing along. So whenever we sense we are overdoing it as mothers or being too sensitive to the needs of others, then it may be time to honor a greater mother, to evoke the spirit of Demeter or Mother Mary or Gaia or Kali or Durga, rather than to take that role upon ourselves. And that wisdom is all from Thomas More. Yeah, so a lot to take in all at once, and meanwhile we have greeting cards for today, right? Yeah, and so remembering that it is important to have a day, at least to pause and pay attention to the creative force that is moving in all things. That face is of the divine feminine and how they express in us. And remember how that expression is, that creativity has helped us mature into the world and come closer to the divine. Okay. So before I do the meditation, I would like to just say briefly that part of my work is meeting with people and talking archetypes and helping people determine which archetypes are theirs. And I have many people I work with that choose the mother archetype and are not actual mothers, and others that are mothers and don't choose the mother archetype as one of their primary natal archetypes in this lifetime. So all in all, the mother provides some great conversation, this archetype, as you can see, because of how broad it is. We all are in contact with this archetype. It's just determining if this is one that you are working with, and that's part of the work that I do. So if anybody wants to talk with me afterwards about meeting up, I'm glad to do that.